All right, I'm going to do a little video here on domain and range, but working from graphs. So first, if you remember from some earlier conversations, we got to determine if these things are functions. So remember, that's the vertical line test. This A, no matter where I put a vertical line, it would only cross the graph one time. And one time's okay. One time or fewer is all right. This is a function. Okay, if it crosses more than once, it's not a function. So like over here, see here's a vertical line. It crossed 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's not a function. Now this one in the middle is a little tricky because a lot of times people say, oh, it crosses once, it crosses once. But when you draw it right here, it actually crosses an infinite number of times along this section of the line. So infinite is obviously a lot more than 1. So this one as well is not a function. Okay? Now, in addition to determining if stuff's a function, we also have to write down the domain and range. Now remember, domain is the x values. X values are left and right. But we can't just list the values. The domain is not just -5, -2, and 1. It's because it's every single x value along this line, and that's an infinite number. So what we do is we just look at the extremes. What's the furthest to the left this graph goes? It goes to -5. It's colored in. And to the right, it goes all the way over to here, which is +1. But you see, it's not colored in, so I'm not going to put that line there. So the domain is all the x values between -5 and 1, not including the 1. And that's how we show that when we have a graph. We have to do this this type of format. We can't just list them because it's an infinite number of things. Now, a range, remember, is y, which means from low to high. So put your pencil on the points that's the lowest on the graph, which would be right here. And you see the y value is -5. But notice how it's not colored in. And the highest is right there, and that is colored in, so I'm going to put the line underneath. So y is between -5 and 5. All right. Domain here, left to right. Furthest to the left is right there, -1. Furthest to the right is right there. The x value is 3. Range is low to high. The lowest is right there. Remember, the y value is -4, and the highest is up at 5. Now again, left to right. Left, we have a couple of points that are furthest to the left. You see both of these have x values of -1. And we have a couple of, but it doesn't, both of these here have a x value of 2. Range is low to high. The bottom is -4. And the top is 6. So those ones across the top are they're a little bit easy. These 2 on the bottom are a little bit harder. This one is a function. That should be pretty obvious. This one is a function as well. And a lot of times people get confused there because when you draw a vertical line right here, they think, that vertical line goes through this point and this point. But remember, this point was open. It wasn't included. So this vertical line is actually only hitting the graph one time, and that's okay. So it is a function. Now the domain and range can be tricky for this one on the left. The domain furthest to the left is -3. Furthest to the right is an x value of 4, and it's open, so I left it open. But a lot of times people close it and they think they're done. But you see that what this is saying is x is every single value from -3 to 4, but it's not every single value from -3 to 4. You see there's a hole along the way. So x, you see, can't be 1. So we have to kind of adjust for that and include that in our answer. So x is everything from -3 to 4, but it can't be 1. And you see we have to do the same thing for the range. See, the lowest it can be is -1, the highest it can be is 5. Remember, that's an open circle there. But you see, same thing, y cannot be 2. Now over here, domain goes from -6 all the way across to this, which is 3. And you're actually done. Now remember, sometimes people say, oh, wait, there's a hole here. We can't include the 2. But the 2 is included here. So the 2 is included. So that's why there's no hole. I need to make that adjustment. And the y value, same thing, goes from -1, goes all the way up to here, which is a height of 4. Now this one's open, but this one's closed, and so 4 is part of the solution set.